Hi, I'm Grace Browning, and today I'm going to be chatting with you a little bit about how I warm up at the harp. First off, a huge thanks to Christina Finch for asking me to contribute to her awesome blog. Now, the first thing I'll say is that my warm-up on any given day is rarely going to be exactly the same as any other day, but I'm almost always going to be thinking about two big things when I first sit down to the harp. First, I'm thinking about warming up my body, warming up my hands and my arms and my fingers, making sure that everything technically is going well, it feels smooth and comfortable, and that I'm also very relaxed. And the second thing I'll be thinking about is trying to turn on my ears, really kind of getting into the sound that I'm making and trying to engage with it and make sure that I'm responding to whatever's going on in my head. So the first thing I'll do is probably just jump into some scales, and I'll usually rotate between scales, arpeggios, and chords and try to make sure I get at least all of those covered. So this particular exercise is adapted from La Riviere. It's a great etude book. I really like playing scales in tenths because it sounds pretty, and also it helps you listen to both hands better. So again, what I'm doing here is not just moving my fingers, but I'm also listening to my sound, and I'm thinking about, is the sound consistent through the scale? Are all my fingers equally audible? So I'll do it again, and then I might experiment a little bit with dynamics and maybe articulation. And crescendo again. I'm just starting to try to make it as musical as possible, so it's not just like a physical exercise. Then I might shift to some arpeggios. I really like seventh chords, they feel so good on the hand, so maybe I'll just start with a G7. And I might just do this a few times until it feels really good. Into some other arpeggios. I really like going through all the inversions. And again, I'm just covering as much of the harp as possible. And then, I'm not only checking in with my sound, but I'm also maybe trying to make some music. So I might do something where I'll maybe circle through the series of fifths and try to get faster each time. Because I just love those. So again, a lot of this is also not only pulled from La Riviere and maybe some of the conditioning exercises by Salzedo, but also sometimes it's fun to steal from some Tchaikovsky cadenzas because they always feel so good on the hands. And finally, I guess after I have warmed up and started to get my musical juices flowing, I might just spot check a few areas of whatever piece I'm about to play, especially if I'm going into orchestra rehearsal or if I'm about to perform for sure. Then I'd like to maybe go over those few areas that are, extra challenging for whatever reason, so that when you then go into whatever comes next, rehearsal or performance, that you can be just focused on making music or following the conductor and not, making sure your notes are right. The last thing I'll say, it's also always great to just, throughout the warm-up, just be listening as you go through different keys to make sure that, for example, like your high first octave F and G sound good in the sharp position as well as the flat position, in case your harp, like mine, is not in perfect regulation. So that's about all I have to say, but thanks so much for watching this, and please let me know if you have any questions at all. Again, my name's Grace Browning, and you can contact me at my website, www.grace-browning.com. Thanks.